Before we begin, we'll give praise, glory, and honor to our Father Yah of hosts by way of his Son, our Lord Yahshua HaMashiach, and get this show on the road. So let's look at Ephesians chapter 3 and by verse 16 yet again. Ephesians 3 and about verse 16. Now, the reason why I had mentioned that about the Lord's name, because something me and my homeboy were talking about, I'm sorry, make it verse 7. Ephesians 3 and 7. Something me and Fat Boy were talking about on the Sabbath. About a congregation that we know of that will no longer use the name Jesus. I had already, anybody who knows and been around me long enough, though, I ain't never really ever used it. You know what I'm saying? I think most of y'all know every time I read, I don't even say it. Most of the time my conversation, I don't even say it. You know what I'm saying? That's because I know that this is not his name. I know this because 5-6 years ago, the man let me know plainly and clearly that is not my name. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't referring to the name Jesus when he let me know what his name was. You know what I'm talking about? But I look at it this way. If a man tell you, this is my name, then that is your name. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you where your name got to be Jesus because they say Jesus like this. No. You say your name, Yahshua, and that's your name. Not Kawasaki, not none of that other stuff you nigga come up with. Your name is Yahshua. I'm cool with that. Because I think you would know what your name is before I would. Verse 7 of Ephesians chapter 3. Whereof I was made a minister according to the gift of grace of God given unto me by the effectual working of his power. Unto me who am less than the least of all saints, in this grace given, that I should preach among the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of the Messiah, and to make all men see what is the fellowship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the world have been hid in God, who created all things by Yahshua the Messiah, to the intent that now unto the principalities and powers in heavenly places might be known by the synagogue the manifold wisdom of God, according to the eternal purpose which he purposed in Hamashiach Yahshua our Lord, in whom we have boldness and access with confidence by the faith of him. That's why we sit back to notice here, to know the fellowship of the mystery, that we can have boldness with God through the faith that's in the Son. A lot of y'all don't actually have no faith in the Son like you ought to, because you always try to find a way to scheme in and do what you want to do. And you know it too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not finna cut no corners or play with you or sugarcoat it or lie to none of y'all. A lot of y'all be playing, and you know you be playing. You know you hypocrites. You know you do what you want to do. You know you don't care what I say. You know you don't care what their words say. The only thing you respect is what you want to do. And you know it. You know what I'm saying? So you need to just come on out and raise your hand and say, I hate God with a passion. This ain't the first time I had to tell you this here. So guess what that means? The Lord want me to tell you again. Why you just won't come up and tell him you hate him? The reason why I say that, because I want to show you something. In Galatians chapter 5, when we were looking at the works of the flesh, let's look at them again. Let's see what one of them is. We'll start at verse 16 yet again. Verse 16 yet again. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. That's why a lot of y'all be fulfilling the lust of the flesh. That's why a lot of y'all fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because you're not going to walk in the word. You're going to walk in what you want to do. For the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. So if you led of the Spirit, what law are you not under? Let's look and see. Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow thou shalt eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it thou wast taken, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. Now, obviously, what did Adam walk in? Did he walk in the flesh or did he walk in the spirit? Absolutely. Let's look and see in 1 Corinthians 15. Because I know we mentioned it, but then we need to look at it. I'm sitting here telling y'all, man, the reason why we warning you about this stuff, if you die tonight, where's your soul going to reside when you wake up again? Y'all don't think about stuff like that before y'all go do some of the bonehead stuff y'all be going to go do. You don't think about stuff like that. You thinking, I got time. I got time. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 47. After we look at 1 Corinthians 15, verse 47, Romans chapter 8, verse 5. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy, and as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. So you know what it come down to? First Adam was fleshly, then wasn't it? Let's come back and look at Romans chapter 8, verse 5 then. For they that are after the flesh, do mind the things of the flesh. But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. Now go back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. Let's sit back and see. Because the first Adam was earthly, which means he had to have a carnal mind then, didn't he? So then there would have been no way he could have pleased God. See, y'all should know this from what we looked at when we looked at how Adam was made to live forever. Because he said the potter made the first vessel from clay, right? We'll look at that again too, just to bring it to your remembrance. They say, Yah took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may freely eat, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eat thereof thou shalt surely die. So let's look at Genesis chapter 3 then. So when we look at verse 6, when that woman came around and he told her how that tree was, let's see what it looked like to her. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. See, if he had a spiritual mind, he wouldn't have partook in that, now would he? See, that's why when we read at the end of this chapter in Genesis chapter 3, he said, let us take now that tree of life, lest he eat and live forever. So you're not going to be able to walk in the flesh and eat and walk in the spirit at the same time. How am I going to sit back and give you eternal life while you got a carnal mind to go with? You're going to have to get rid of that carnal mind. Jeremiah 18. That's what y'all sit back and look at it. That's why you can't get what you're going after, because you want to have a spiritual gift with a carnal mind. Are you that stupid to think God going to give you that? Matter of fact, hold what you got. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15. Show you why you can't get it. You're not going to work like that. You're going to have to put that carnal mind away. You don't have to stop playing. First Corinthians chapter 2, by verse 11. He say, for what man know the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so the things of God know no man, but the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. See, he had messed around and got the spirit of the world. Adam did, so he couldn't know the things that were given to God. That's why he had to keep the tree back from him. Oh, y'all didn't even realize that, did you? Y'all didn't realize he said, let us put the tree of life from him, lest he take from it and live forever. The things that was, he said, I gave you every tree freely in the garden, didn't it? Well, let's go back and look at it, because y'all sounded like y'all ain't catching on. Genesis chapter 2, verse 16. The man said clearly as day, we know that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. Let's see the things that were freely given to us of God. It's got a root for something. Calm it down. Calm it. Say, Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may freely eat. Does that not sound like everything in there was freely given to him of God? Am I talking to myself? Because this was not a rhetorical question. I can't tell it. So he said, guess what that means? Let's sit back and look at it. So when you sit back looking at the thing, we know the things that's freely given us of God. What should come to your mind then? He gave his son. He gave his son. You don't sit back and realize when he was telling them all them trees are freely yours, that was for his son. But see, look what happened though, because he had that carnal mind. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3. Let's see what happened. That's why y'all ain't getting access to the tree of life, because your mind too carnal. You too evil. You don't want to get that carnal mind up. You want to keep it. And think God supposed to bless you while you walking around like that. Are you crazy? Genesis 3 and 22. It's amazing how much information that we can pull just straight out of the book out of the story out. Ain't that something? Say, Yah said, behold. Matter of fact, make it verse 21. Make it 20. Genesis 3 and 20. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did Yah made coats of skins and clothed them. Say, Yah made them a garment. And Yah said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. Now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. So guess what? That carnal mind was not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be, because when he told them, if you eat of this, you'll surely die, they had no idea what he was talking about, so they were not subjected under what he told them to do. Their mind wouldn't allow them to do that. Come on back around here to 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 12, finish that on out. That's why a lot of y'all can't do the stuff you ought to do, because your mind can't wrap around the fight. You ain't got no business doing it. You want to do what you want to do. Then when stuff don't go your way, you wonder why stuff don't go your way. You know why it ain't. I'm going to tell y'all something now while it's in my mind. If I ask y'all something or tell y'all something, do y'all not know, man, just like I told you, when the Lord said, when the people asked the Lord, was he the Messiah, what did he tell the people back? I'm talking about when they were coming to kill him. What did he say back? He said, you said it. So that means, nigga, you already know the answer to this question. Don't y'all know sometimes when I ask y'all stuff individually or say stuff and you say something, you already let me know you wrong or you doing something you ain't got no business by your response back to me? That's why I be telling y'all, y'all think that I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. You know what I'm talking about? If I say something to you and you be like, woo, 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 I'm saying like, nigga, you just told on yourself, you dummy. You know what the worst part is? You too stupid enough to know you did it. And how many times have I showed you the example when this man said something to somebody and he said, thou sayest. He said, you judged yourself. Y'all be judging yourself. You already be knowing what time it is. That's why he said, if thou say thou seest not, your sin is covered. He said, but since you say you see, your sin remain. That means you know what you're doing. See, when he say, if you say you see not, that means you blind. That means you ignorant. That means you were doing something and you ain't know you were sinning. 99.9% of y'all that's on here, anything you do, you already know you wrong for you go do it because you done heard the word. You ain't got no excuse for going to do none of the junk you be going to do. You know what I'm saying? Every last one of you women know you ain't got no business putting no makeup on, wearing no jewelry, not getting your nail polished. Y'all know y'all ain't got no business watching some of the TV shows you be watching, some of the movies you be watching, some of the songs you be listening to. You already know you ain't got no business doing it. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know, you ain't got no business drinking. You know you ain't got no business smoking. You know you ain't got no business cussing. Y'all be knowing that. I ain't talking about some of y'all that new and you like this here. I know I got to put this stuff away. Anybody who done been rolling with us for a year plus, you have no excuses as far as I'm concerned about nothing. I don't want to hear it. Don't bring them to me. Don't sell them to me because you ought to know better. And that's straight up and down. And any one of y'all know who been with us for 12 months or longer. If you've been with us 12 months or longer, there's not a single solitary excuse I ever want to hear out your mouth from this day forward. About nothing. Don't even say it. Just go on ahead and just take it and go about your business. I don't want to hear it. Do not try to explain it to me. I don't care. Don't tell it to me. I'm just letting that be known now. I've been suffering y'all with that for a little minute. Now I'm letting you be known. Don't bring it to me. If you try to bring me an excuse, I'm going to go off on you on the spot. Just be ready for it and take it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, you can go. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all been trying me for too long. I'm about sick of it. And I know what's going to have to happen. The Lord going to have to get rid of a couple of you niggas for you niggas to realize this is not no game. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to have to happen. Instead of niggas quitting, somebody just going to have to be thrown out. Then maybe then you'll realize the man ain't playing with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm being for real, though. Because you niggas be on some other type time, and you know it. And you know it. I'm just telling you, got to do better. You know what all that means? That just means we in violation and then. That means we ain't where we supposed to be at. Tighten up. Verse 12 now, 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. So let's look at Romans chapter 5, verse 15. Let's look at these things that we can freely know that's been given to us of God. Because you should already know the book say, buy the truth, sell it not. I freely gave you this here. Let's look also what the Lord told him in Matthew chapter 10. You hope we're going to read Romans 5:15, then we're going to come back around and we're going to get you Matthew chapter 10, about verse 5. Romans chapter 5, verse 15. But not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of God and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yahshua the Messiah, have abounded unto many. And not as it was by one. Y'all stop. Now do it again. And not as it was by one that sinned, so was the gift. For the judgment was by one to condemnation. But the free gift is of many offenses unto justification. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one Yahshua HaMashiach. Therefore, as by the offense of one judgment came upon all men to condemnation, even so by the righteousness of one the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life. Remember how we looked at on Wednesday when Paul told Timothy, neglect not the gift that is in you by what? When Paul told Timothy not to neglect the gift that he got by what? How did he get that gift? No, I'm talking about exactly what we read. He said, neglect not the gift that is in you. That 1 Timothy chapter 4, y'all don't even remember. By prophecy, by the word, by the word. Because he just told you the righteousness, the gift of righteousness shall reign in one. The free gift is of many unto justification. The free gift came upon all men of justification of life. He said the things that are freely given us of God. The Messiah came, we started off looking at that in the book, the epistle of Ephesians, where the man was talking about to know the fellowship of the mystery of the Messiah and the grace of God that is in that. Knowing that the Son was the free gift, you can't get that justification without the word. They're going to get in bed. I'm going to say they can get in there on their own. Matthew chapter 10. I know Leah can. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. Now, what y'all not sitting back looking at, you getting access to a free gift, but you don't want it, though. See, you want to be able to keep your stuff and get that. You can't have that carnal mind and that spiritual mind can't exist in the same place. Hold on. Hold what you got in this Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 6. About verse 24. Make it 22. Matter of fact, make it 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Now, you know he talking about money in this situation, but some of y'all treasure don't necessarily be money. Your treasure is whatever you lusting after, whatever you desire. You know, we already looked at that about a week ago, that the Lord will give you just what you want, ain't it? Some of y'all, that the Lord will give you just what you want. Some of y'all keep chasing and worrying about stuff that you already been told not to do. You know what I'm talking about? And you still go after it anyway. And I pray to God he give it to you so you can go straight to hell. Because I done warned you. He done warned you. You still go after it. I hope he give it to you so you can go to hell. And I meant that too. And if you don't like it, you can go. Because I meant exactly what I said. Let me slow it down for you just in case you missed it. I hope that the Lord in heaven gives you exactly what you're going after he told you that you shouldn't do it, after I told you shouldn't do it, and 2 witnesses have testified against you not to mess with something, and you still chase after it anyway. I hope he give it to you so you can go to hell. Because a man told you he can give you stuff to be a stumbling block and a snare and a trap. And if you've been warned not to do something, it's because it will be a hindrance to the saving of your soul. And if you go after it, I hope he lets you get it so you can go to hell. And I mean that. You know what I'm saying? I mean that. I'm not joking. I ain't being funny. Whoever got hit, you better think about it then. If you ain't get hit, ain't got nothing to do with you. If you got hit, please go after it so you can go to hell. I'm begging you go after it. Because the reason why I'm begging you to go after it, because you stupid. You know what I'm talking about? That means you stubborn, you hard-headed, you disobedient, and you unbelieving. Because the Lord ain't got to tell me but one time not to mess with something. I ain't messing with it. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't got but one time to have somebody tell me who worked for him. No, that's not a good idea for you to mess with that. You better leave that alone. I'm done with it. I'm not even trying to figure out a way to get it done or fool with it or mess with it. I only need one time. See, a lot of y'all feel like, I don't think the Lord really meant that. I don't think he really. I think that's just that man's opinion. Because who is he to say what the Lord got for me? Because what's for me is for me, and hell is what's for you, because you don't listen. I'm just letting you know now. Verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? But listen what he tell you. No man can serve 2 masters, for he will either hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. You can't serve God and the flesh. You're going to have to choose. Why you think he said the law of God is enmity? The flesh is enmity to the law of God. It's not subject to it. You seen that with Adam. He couldn't serve God and serve his flesh. You know what I'm talking about? He had to make a choice. He chose his flesh. Y'all going to have to make a choice. The things that have been freely given to God to be made known unto you to save your soul, you're going to have to choose if you're going to take hold to it or not, or you're going to eat the knowledge of good and evil. That's what you got to sit back and realize. What choice you going to make? All this trying to be spiritual, but you carnal, Lord calling you out for it. You going to hell. Straight up. I want y'all to know that. I'm not playing. I'm not joking. I'm about sick of it. You going to hell. Keep trying to be spiritual, but you carnal at the same time. You going to hell. Now let that sink in your brain and realize you need to stop playing pump faking and hypocrite. It's disgusting. It's despicable. You ain't fooling nobody. The only person, Titus chapter 1. Let me make sure that's what I want. You ain't fooling nobody. That's James chapter 1. We ain't got to get it. Come on back to Matthew chapter 10. I call like this here. I'm about sick of it. Because the man told you in the book of James, be doers of the word, not hearers of the word, deceiving your own self. You're lying to yourself, nigga. You're lying to yourself. As Brother Bell just mentioned, you ought to be seeking God's kingdom and his righteousness first. That means if the man tell you not to fool with something, why would you do it? That's the same way niggas say the doctor tell them don't eat pork. I get a headache every time I eat it. And your stupid butt still eating it. We ain't even talking about scripturally that you know you ain't supposed to eat it. The doctor tell you not to do something and you go do it anyway and wonder why you sick. You know what I'm saying? Because you stupid. Because what you want to do was more important than what was being shown is best for you. Because you think you know more than this person. You know what that is, right? That's pride. You know pride go before destruction. You know a proud look is one of the six abominations, 7 things y'all hate. Because you think you smarter than God. That's why I say you ought to go to hell. You know what I'm talking about? This stuff don't make no sense. That we got to tell y'all the same stuff over and over again. It don't make no sense. Matthew 10:5. These 12 Yahshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into the city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. So we see the things that freely given us to God is the things that pertain to his spirit then, don't we? That's what he wanted to freely give to Adam, but he chose to go the carnal route. He chose to chase the things after the flesh instead of the things that were freely given to him of God, because that tree was not given to him of God. He told him, don't fool with that. That's not for you. That's why he say the works of the flesh are manifest. The stuff y'all do is show me you carnal. You not going to fool me and think you spiritual by nothing you say out your mouth, nothing you might post, or nothing you might do when everything you do says, I am carnal. You're not going to fool me with that. I'm tired of y'all thinking that I'm some idiot and I'm stupid. You know what I'm talking about? That is insulting to my intelligence for you to think that I'm stupid. But it is what it is. 1 Corinthians 2:12. Any of y'all think I'm stupid? Then why you size me like I'm stupid then? That's what I want to know. I might look stupid just because I don't say nothing. Don't mean I don't know what time it is. Come tell you know the next step gonna come here. The Lord just gonna have to start calling you niggas out, and then the next step after that is getting rid of niggas. Cause that's the next step, right? Because he been trying to call you out with just the word and let the word prick you as it prick who it may. But if that won't work, we just gonna start putting names to it. And if that don't work, we just gonna start getting rid of niggas. Cause I'm tell you right now, it wouldn't matter if it wasn't nobody but me and the wall. I'm still gonna roll. Cause I know T say it all the time. I don't think you'll do your sister like that. I say, I know it tell like this here. I don't think you know me too well. Cause I go slap off on my sister on the dime. She do something stupid. You know why I ain't got to do it? Because she know better to do something stupid. Because she know I will embarrass her first. That's what y'all don't realize. Not on the simple fact that I raised her and took care of her. She been with me for 4 years. Do y'all realize that? 4 years. So you know what that means? I hold everybody to the same standard. But you know that I would think that Lil Muffin would actually have to have a lot more sense than the rest of y'all wouldn't. Y'all would think that, right? Because of length of time. I'm talking about at Jason House. When we was at Jason House having services on feast days, we ain't talking about shooting no videos. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't talking about shooting no videos. I'm talking about she was the reason why Pell, because Pell the only person on their phone that would get them text messages when I was shooting that out. She the reason why everybody who would get them, because she said, where mine at? Where ours at? Why we don't get none? Because it was only going to one person. You know what I'm talking about? So guess what that means? Everybody who with us is Lil Muffin and then it's Pell. And Pell and Tama. We can't forget Tama. So you know what that means? That means I'm going to look at them a little different than I'm going to look at some of y'all. That means I know you ought to know better. So if they did something, I would be well within my rights to go slap off on you in front of everybody. Ain't even going to be no private reprimand. I go ahead and put your name on it, go off on you. She just know better. On top of the fact she know her brother. She already know what he gonna do. That's what y'all don't be realizing. I've been around this nigga her entire life. She already know what I'm gonna do. She know if I do this, my brother gonna do this. I already know what he gonna do. So you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So I done told y'all before, y'all don't know about them times I had to go off on her when she got pregnant with Leah and all that stuff. See, they don't know about that door. Cause we ain't know nothing about none of them then. When she came in there and then she told that dude she was pregnant, and he was like this here, Josiah was like, oh, that's all right. I said, ain't nothing all right. She got pregnant doing something she ain't got no business. I don't see no reason to be happy. And that nigga sat back and looked at me crazy like, that's your sister and your coming niece. And your point. And your point. And your point. That nigga didn't even know what to say because he just thought, oh, that's all right. That's fine and gravy. It's not fine and gravy. That's an unclean child in her stomach. I don't see anything happy about that. Why should you? See, y'all don't know nothing about that. Because you don't know, because that was 3 years ago. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all don't know about the growth, the growing pain, and the time she done went off on and beat upside her head. Y'all don't know about that because you wasn't around. So then you come around later and you think, oh, he got respected person. He treat her better than we do. No, let her do something stupid like one of you niggas do. I'll go slap off on her with no problem. I told her point blank period, and you can ask her yourself if you think I'm lying. I told her, I said, guess what? You want to shack up and play house? This congregation was to get started next week. You won't come. Did I not tell you that? Looked her dead in her face and told her, you won't come in here. That's not going to happen. So if I do my sister whose own butt I changed, who I fed, who I risked my life for and went to prison behind, what you think I'm going to say and do to one of you niggas? Ain't no respected person. Try me if you want to. And if you don't believe what I'm telling you, you can ask her yourself. If you see her in person, did he tell you you wouldn't be able to be a part of the congregation? If you was doing that what you were doing? Yes, I told her that. And if you don't believe me, Nell come around and you see her, ask her because she was standing up too. And my homeboy Bell was standing up too when I said it, and I meant it, and I said it several times after that. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't no game. Y'all play with it if you want to. Verse 13, y'all better tighten up on your bike stroke. This ain't no game. I'm dead serious about this here, man. Get it right or get missing. Verse 13, 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Which things also we speak not in the words which man wisdom teach, but which the Ruach HaKodesh teach, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receive not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. That's why y'all can't get the thing that's spiritual, because you steady feeding to that natural man. Can't get what you need, because you steady going after what you want. How many of y'all been living y'all life knowing that you've been chasing after what you want versus what you need? You know what I'm saying? So then you got to turn around and sit back and look at how long am I going to continue to go after the things that I want versus the things that I want versus the thing that I need. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to sit back and look at. You can't get what you want and get God, people. If you want the things that's freely given us to God, God gave Adam everything freely in that garden for him. But he went after what was pleasing to the flesh instead. Now come on back to Galatians chapter 5. Y'all ain't even eat no sugar. Because I wanted to look at one thing, what's these works in the flesh. And that's how you seen what we looked at in verse 17. So we know what being under the law is. If you walk in the Spirit, you're not under death. Because if he would have walked in what God told him to do, then he could have got that tree, which would have gave him life. Now, ain't that right? Wouldn't he got life then? If he would have walked in the Spirit, if he would have walked in what God told him to do, he would have got life. But instead he walked after the flesh, which had him under that law, which had him under being dead. See, I didn't get to Jeremiah 18. Let me get it now. Because I called for it. I got to get it because there's something else I want to show to go along with it. Jeremiah 18 and 1. We're going to get to the point because we got to deal with something else. Got to deal with something else pertaining to something that we talked about with this man's name. Because we've been alluding to it for a couple weeks now about how there wasn't nobody like him. And that there's not a single name under heaven which man must be, but got to call on to be saved. Like I told y'all, and it didn't hit my mind till I was talking to Goldie about it. And I talked with my man Quad about it this morning. There are not any congregation in America that I have seen. If there isn't one, if there is one that do it, then I would like to know. I have not seen a single congregation in America that take that 501c3 money and use the name Yahshua and push it. I have not seen one. All the Hebrew congregations that I know that took that money, they say Jesus or they say Kawasaki. One of the two. We already know what them Christian churches gonna do. I haven't seen one that took that money that used that name. The people don't want you to call that name. Like I told you, that man told me that was his name. And then when I looked it up after he told me that was his name, that stamped that for me. Because he had already let me know. He said, my name, Yahshua. That's my name. Oh, boy, boy, boy. Oh, Jim Dandy, you all right over there, boy? That nigga dead. That nigga is dead. All right, y'all. It put me off. All right, y'all. Like I say, anybody, if you was to go look at that Jesus for True Freedom, you'd be like, but why is the channel named Jesus for True Freedom? Because that was my sister channel that she created before I got out of prison. I don't still have the letters. But if I still had the letters, I could show you where she was letting me know that she was going to start a YouTube channel and that's what she was going to name it. I wasn't thinking about no Bible at that time. This is 2009. You know what I'm saying? Much less thinking that I would even have sermons on that channel 3 years later. But you could go back and you could look at him. You could even see the man's name in the title of some of them videos. I never used the name Jesus while I was preaching. It might get interspersed here and there. Never used it. You know what I'm saying? I know after a while, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you. Because y'all been hearing me a lot lately. You'll hear me say Messiah or you'll hear me say Hamashiach. Lord willing, time going to come. We ain't going to say Messiah or Christ. You don't barely ever hear me say Christ. We won't say Messiah no more neither. The time will come. Right now, you don't hear me say it a lot, but we won't say God for much longer neither. The only time you hear me, you really say Elohim is in certain places wherever it got that Lord God written in there. Because y'all do hear me say it from time to time. You know what I'm saying? It might not be a lot, but I'm just telling you, that's a natural progression. You know why we could be able to do that? Because we don't take them people money. So since we don't take them people money, you know what that means? We could say what we want to say. We could do what we want to do, and we could preach what we want to preach. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't know this here. My man Quab know about it a lot more in depthly than I do because he said he preached on it about a couple years back. See, when you sign that paperwork with them people and you preach on something you ain't got no business, he said them people can hit you with a $250,000 fine, make you pay back all the money you done got from them, and you could go to jail. You know what I'm saying? See, I've never read the document because I never had a desire to read it. You know what I'm saying? Because I never had a desire to take it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people, a lot of nonprofit organizations, they under that 501c3 too. It's just not regulated to churches. You know what I'm saying? A lot of nonprofits, it's to make you tax exempt. But to come along with that tax exempt status, it's certain things you can't do. You know what I'm saying? And like my man Crunch used to say, I'm a real nigga, straight from the collard green patch. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what I can say and what I can do. I'm a grown man. Ain't but one person could tell me what to say and what to do. And that's the Lord in heaven. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Taking nothing from these white folks, man, you got to be crazy. Jeremiah 18:1. I don't want their money. I tell you right now, and one of you niggas ever go research this and come tell me, oh man, you should take that 501c3. You gone on the spot before you even finish the sentence. Your services are no longer required in the community. That's real though. It might sound funny. I'm dead serious though. I'm dead serious though. If you bring that to me, I'm talking about you better not even bring that to me being funny. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. You know, I joke and play, but you better know what the joke with me about. You know what I'm talking about? You better know. You know what I'm talking about? That means you better know me well enough to you know what to say and what not. I'm telling you. Cause boy, if it's something, if it's something I don't play by, I'm telling you, I'm not the one. I'm telling you like this here. I don't joke about nothing that pertain to this right here though. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to be funny and blow up in your face. It's one person on here, he can tell you, it sure did, it blew up in nails. You know what I'm talking about? It blew up in nails. I ain't the one to play with when it comes to this right here. I don't joke about this. It's a few things I don't joke about. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I can joke about my old lady. You better not do it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know her like that. You know what I'm talking about? You better not do it. Cause I'm restraining you about that. You know what I'm saying? You can be like, well, why you can do it? Cause that's my woman, nigga. What you mean? Nigga, I ain't finna come ranking on your woman. You know what I'm talking about? Unless you one of the members, I rank on all y'all when I get ready. See, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I can do that. I can rank on all y'all when I get ready. You know what I'm talking about? But at the same time though, I'm just saying in the period though, at the same time though, you're not gonna disrespect my woman though. You're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I would say you ain't gonna disrespect my sister, but she got a husband to handle that. So that's not my place. Cause God knows, if she was unmarried, I'd knock a nigga whole face off. And don't even feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't many people on this earth who I would kill a nigga for and not even think about it. Outside of my sister. It's two other men. But you know what I'm talking about? Y'all know one of them. And another one, I used to hold the burner all the time. Niggas didn't even know I had the burner. I was waiting on the nigga to try him because I was going to kill him. And I'm telling you, I ain't no killer. Please don't think that I'm telling you I'm no killer, I'm hard or nothing. That's just how much I love that man. You wasn't going to do nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't going to do nothing to him. That's how I felt about that. I feel like that about each and every last one of y'all that's joined with us. You know what I'm saying? I would gladly give my life for and one of y'all. It ain't even no thought process to think about that. You know what I'm saying? How would I not be able to sit back and look at, I wouldn't give my life for those the Lord say, watch over their soul. So I got some sheep, I wouldn't die for them. What kind of shepherd would that make you? You know what I'm saying? Not just being real though, right? Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to have that thought process. If you say you love somebody, laying your life down for them wouldn't be no issue. See, a lot of you niggas say that. You niggas ain't gonna die for nobody though. You gonna save yourself. Cause I tell you what type of nigga you is. He say the word which came to Jeremiah from Yah saying, arise and go down to the potter's house. And there I will cause thee to hear my words. That I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Isaiah 52. He say the potter was marred in the hands of the potter. Say the clay was marred. He say he messed that thing up. Say he messed that thing up. Isaiah 52. Isaiah 52 and about verse 12. Make it 13. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. As many were astonied at thee, his visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of man. So shall he sprinkle many nations, the kings shall shut their mouths at him, for that which had not been told. Them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. So what y'all think that means? What do y'all think that means? Anybody want to take a crack at it? He say, my servant will deal wisely. He'll be exalted and extolled. His visage, he say, as many people were astonished at thee, say his visage, his face would be marred more than any man, his form more than the sons of men. And he say the kings, they'll shut their mouth at him, because that which they hadn't been told, they gonna see it. And that which they wouldn't heard, they gonna consider it. What you think that could mean? Well, let's sit back and look at Sunday. Let's sit back and look at that Galatians chapter 5 one more time. And let's sit back and look at one of these works of the flesh being made manifest. Galatians chapter 5. Y'all don't be thinking, y'all be thinking I just be talking about stuff and it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's going to have something to do with something. I get offended with it. Lord, spare my life to offend. If the Lord see fit to give us a little understanding. You know what I'm saying? I got something else I got to show you too, from a conversation I had with a nigga this afternoon. But it's going to tie in when I get to where I'm getting at, if the Lord permit. But I say thank the Lord. Praise ye y'all for Yahshua HaMashiach. What y'all say? I say praise y'all for Yahshua HaMashiach. So let's look at verse 19 of Galatians chapter 5 now. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I've told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Now on Wednesday, we looked at uncleanliness and lasciviousness and witchcraft and variance, right? Even sedations, because what Korah was trying to do, sedation is a rebellion. What Korah was trying to do was inside a rebellion too, wasn't it? So we looked at some of that too. Even strife with what Korah did too. We looked at some of that too. But you know what we finna zero in on right now? Out of all these things, what I've been talking about this evening, which one of these things I just read you think I'm finna zero in on right now? Hatred. Some of these things, because I told some of y'all, you should just come on out and say you hate God, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Don't you think that would be a work of the flesh? Because when God tell you, Deuteronomy 7:9. We're going to take some of these things. I'm going to show y'all something now. I think be kicking niggas off like Jackie Chan around here, though. Deuteronomy 7:9. Know therefore that Yah thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keep covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repay them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hate him. He will repay him to his face. Woo-woo. That's something to think about right there, ain't it? That's something to think about right there. That means God say, if you hate me, nigga, I'm gonna pay you back to your face. The only way to do it. The only way to do it. Because remember, he told Moses, he said, I'm not gonna meet you as a man. I'm gonna meet you with God. See, something right this here, it ain't the first time that I done read this to y'all, but it should strike some man of fear in your heart. Now, why you gonna sit back and now we're gonna look at something? John chapter 15, verse 19. I seen a stupid nigga today, and it's been a long time. I preached on this about 2-3 years ago. I seen a stupid nigga today talk about Cyrus, king of Persia, was the first Hebrew Messiah. Nigga ought to be slapped in the teeth. Make it verse 17. Make it verse 18. Now, because he say, Cyrus, my anointed. So they said back, see, he was a Christ. He was a Messiah type. You need a Messiah foot in your behind, you stupid nigga. Niggas say anything out their mouth. Don't be having no idea what they be talking about. Nigga just say stuff. 15 and 18, Book of St. John. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hate me, hate my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now they both have seen and hated both me and my Father. Don't you know that the hatred that they have for this man? I want you to come to Isaiah 47 and 1. Don't y'all know the hatred that they had for this man was evidence of the fact that they hated God and everything God said? Don't y'all sit back and realize every time you disobey this man's word, you telling him, I hate you? Whether it be a small thing or a great thing. You telling God, man, I hate you, nigga. Just like that silly nigga from GMS when that nigga said, I hate you, nigga. Yahweh Shai said, I can hate you, nigga. That's not of God. Anybody who love God gonna love everything God stands for. That's why the Messiah told them people, if God was your father, you would love me. Because I proceeded forth and came of him. I came not of myself. Come on, Tizzy. Isaiah 47 and 1. Listen what he said. Hey, Tizzy. Hold on, y'all. I got Tizzy Lizzie here. She done made an escape from Muffin Island. Yeah. Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down. Listen what he say. Come down. Listen what he say. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called, stop, Lizzie, tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. I will not meet thee as a man. Remember, it said that the clay was marred in the hand of the potter. He just sat back. Now, what you think that would mean when he tell the virgin daughter of Babylon to come and sit down in dirt? Say, ain't no throne now. What y'all think that could mean? Well, let's sit back and let's sit back and see what that means in John chapter 3, verse 13. He told him, "O virgin daughter of Babylon." If she virgin daughter, that means she pure then. You know it wasn't nothing pure about Babylon, because this ain't got nothing to do with Babylon. John 3 and 13. He said, no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. So that means he had to come down to sit in the dust. What dust did he sit in? In the grave. In the grave. But then he said it wasn't no throne. So let's look at Matthew 27 and let's see if it wasn't no throne for him then. And let's look at one of these things about his visage being marred. Because what that visage being marred in Isaiah 52 and the pot and the clay being marred in the hand of the potter, and I will take vengeance with thee, but not as a man, is what them people did to the Son of God. Remember, the same way Ezra plucked out all the beard, all the hair out of the beard, that's what they did to him. I said, I got to make this man over with. That's why he said ain't no beauty in him that we would desire him. Because by the time they got finished with him, God only himself and the people who was there knew what he looked like. Matthew 27:27. Beat the man up like crazy. Remember, they spit in the man's face, they slapping him around, they plucked his beard out, punching him. They stoning the man as he walked past. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahshua into the common hall, gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. They stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. They spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on his head. And after they had mocked him, they took the robe off him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. You told him to sit down. Come on, sit down. Ain't no throne. They made him a king, but where was his throne? Don't you think that those crown of thorns, don't you think when they put that on his head, don't you know them thorns had to rip his flesh apart? Don't you know when they put it, don't you know after they took them, when they put them thorns on there, they had to dig in his face. You got to know when they took him off, they dig in it some more. Don't you think when they hit him in the head with that reed, don't you think that would have lumped his face up? Ooh. Let me show y'all something in the book of Proverbs. That means his visage was good and more. Why would these people do this other than the fact because they hated him? You don't do that to somebody you love. I'm going to show you something. It just said they were mocking him, right? Proverbs 14. About verse 7. Make it 6. They said they were mocking him, right? Let's sit back and look at something. We ain't going to go into great detail on all the stuff we're going to look at. It's just some stuff y'all need to realize. That man say a scorner seek wisdom and find it not. See them niggas who like to mock the word? You ain't gonna find it. See, we read that the other day in Psalm 32. Say the people who godly gonna say, you know, I done committed sin, they gonna confess their fault. He said that's what everybody godly is saying in a time where y'all might be found. That's why in the book of Isaiah told you, seek y'all while he may be found. See, y'all got a chance to seek God while he may be found. And y'all around here playing. See, niggas who mock gonna seek after wisdom, but you're not gonna find that. That's why the Messiah told them, he said, you gonna seek for me and you can't go where I'm going, because you're gonna look for me and I'm not gonna be there. Because y'all were mocking me and you gonna look for me and you're not gonna find me, because these stupid niggas think wisdom a woman. Here's what he say now. But knowledge is easy unto him that understand. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceive not in him the lips of knowledge. That's why he say, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Listen to what he say. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. What y'all think that means? Fools make a mock at sin. He became sin. They mocked him. So you know what they ended up doing? The free gift that would have justified them, that was freely given them of God, they mocked it. They mocked it. They thought it was a game. They thought it was a joke. But also on the natural side, fools mock at sin anyway. Oh, that nigga can't eat no pork chops. Oh, man, that man can't, shoot, nigga, I'm going to sleep with all these hoes, nigga. You drive a cement truck, nigga. Oh, that nigga can't smoke no weed. Oh, your God won't let you smoke, nigga. You want to hit one. You know what I'm saying? See, fools, stupid people, they make a mock at sin. But see, some of y'all do it too, though. Y'all mock at sin because you go ahead and do what you want to do. So that means you a fool. So that means them same people that were mocking the Messiah, guess what that means you were doing? You were standing right there mocking them too. So y'all don't be realizing that anything the man sat back and say, if you commit sin, you guilty of the man's blood. So if you guilty of the man's blood, guess what that means? You was there with him. You might as well been there with him. But you see how little small stuff right there, most Hebrew Israelites, man, that ain't talking about the Messiah. Did he not become sin for us? Did they not mock him? Thank the Lord for the word. You know what I'm saying? That's why he says that we might understand the mystery, right? To know the things that are freely given us of God. Thank the Lord. So now we sit back and look at it. These people beat the brakes off this man. Now how did he uncover his leg? How did his nakedness and his shame get shown that we read in Isaiah 47? How was that done? Yeah, I mean, not only that, but when they killed him, when they say uncovered, I'm going to show your shame, I'm going to show your sin because he became sin. But I want y'all to look at one thing why do you think he mean grind meal? Take your millstones and grind meal. What that mean when you grind meal? Y'all know what that mean when you grind meal? That's when you do stuff to make bread, right? And what did he do before he was uncovered? He broke bread. He broke bread before he was uncovered. Because before then, ain't nobody know who he was. They didn't know who he was. He talking about showing your nakedness. He say, I will take vengeance on you. I will not meet thee as a man. I read y'all John 19:10 all the time. He said, you wouldn't have had no power over me except what? It was given to you from heaven. So who came and met him? God came and met him. He said, I'm not going to meet you as a man when I take this vengeance out on you. He said, my God, why have you forsaken me? Because of sin, I must exact vengeance because I got to repay him that hate me to his face. Oh, man. So you don't think if he done repaid his son with the sins that we incurred, which he didn't incur, and he paid his son back to his face, you don't think he gonna pay you back to your face because he had to wear your sins? Y'all didn't even catch that Deuteronomy 7:9 about we could take that to the day and didn't catch that to the Lamar. Because he did repay the son straight to his face. Y'all should remember that when we looked at Numbers 14 when he say, I'll kill them all as one man. The vengeance I want to take out on these people, I'm going to kill them all in one man. So I turned around and I made me one man, a potter. You know, I mean, me being a potter, I took me some clay and I marred it. And the anger and the vengeance that I had, he said, I got to repay him that hate me to his face. You know what I'm talking about? The son did not hate the father. Please don't be stupid enough to think that's what we saying. But he became sin. And as he became sin, that means that's that hatred of God. God has no force but other than to do what? Execute judgment upon that. See, that's the mercy of God right there. That this man was able to take the payment of your hatred to his face so you wouldn't have to take it. And you around here still sinning. You around here still stupid. You around here still carnal. You around here trying to figure out how you can be carnal and spiritual at the same time. When that man say you can't put old wine in new bottles. Don't y'all really sit back and realize they beat the brakes off this man? Do y'all realize what that is to walk across the line and people just stone you? Do y'all know what that's like for people to come up and snatch your beard out? No. Y'all know what it's like for somebody to walk up and take a rod and hit you right up. So you know this, why you think he say when you say he won't be called tender and delicate, because he would no longer, Hebrew chapter 2. This is why he ain't going to be tender and delicate. Hebrew chapter 2 verse 7. This is why he ain't tender and delicate. And I still ain't got to the part of how you hate God. Please don't think that, though. And Lord will, I'm still going to tie it into the part of, with his name, how we've been looking at it, ain't none like him, right? I ain't done. Pray the Lord. It's the Sabbath. You ain't got nowhere to go. Hebrew chapter 2 about verse 7. He says, thou made him a little lower than the angels. Thou crowned him with glory and honor and did set him over the work of thy hands. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet, for that all that he put in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Yahshua, who was made a little lower than the angel for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of God should taste death from every man. Come down and sit in the dust. Come down and sit in the dust. That means if he made him a little lower than the angel, that means he ain't tender and delicate no more. Because Israel is my firstborn son. You know what I'm talking about? When you look at your firstborn, he said, it's a man child. That means he, like I said, you holding one. He tender, he delicate right now. He said, I get through with you. You ain't going to be called tender and delicate no more. How many of y'all ever thought about that? Obviously no one. So, when we see this here about, he say, I'm not going to meet you as a man. Y'all got to sit back and realize, now when the Messiah come back, guess how he going to meet you is? As a man. You know why? Because Genesis chapter 9, verse 6, right? I guess we go ahead and look at it just for somebody who don't know. Just for somebody who don't know. That's why I'm sitting here telling y'all, those of y'all that been riding a little longer, y'all better start doing better than what you've been doing. And those of y'all that's coming in up the rear, you better tighten up. Everybody better get your belt, tighten it on up. And if your stomach about to bust and your pants too tight, guess what that means? Better lose some weight. Genesis 9 and 6. And you know what that means if you got to lose some weight then, right? What you think that means when I say that? What y'all think I mean when I say that? I want to make sure y'all understand clearly what I'm saying. If I say if you tighten up that belt, you better let some stuff go then. As long as y'all know it. As long as y'all understand what I'm saying to you. That's all. As long as you understand, there you go. Praise the Lord. As long as y'all understand what I'm saying. Better drop that weight and that sin that easily beset you and run the race with patience. Because you know if you're fat and out of shape trying to run from the police, you're going to fall out around here sweating Glade donut juice. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Some of you niggas know right now if we cut you, you're going to bleed gravy. Genesis 9 and 6. Make it 5. Make it 4. But flesh with life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. Now, something just come to my mind. What did the Messiah tell us in John chapter 6? Starting at about verse 53. Because it said right here in the law, you shouldn't eat the flesh that got life in it with the blood. You can't eat it. But what did the Messiah tell us though? So if we sit back and look at that, is the Messiah telling us to go against the law? He's sitting back telling us the same thing this man told you. You know why we know he ain't telling that there? Because he told him in the verse before, I give every moving thing that lives shall be meat for you, even as the green herb I've given you all things. Well, we know the Messiah, the herb bearing seed. Man just sat back and told you, every moving thing on the earth I gave to be meat for you. So he sat back and looked at it. He told you, my flesh is meat indeed. You know what I'm talking about? You sit back and look at it. My flesh is meat indeed. This word is meat indeed. My body is meat indeed. It's the meat which will save a man's soul, which you would know what we looked at on Pentecost. A man don't live by bread alone, but every word that proceed out the mouth of Yah doth man live. And y'all don't live by that. The reason why you don't live by that, because it shows in the decisions that you make and the things that you do. You talk a good one. You know what I'm saying? You can fool everybody else. You ain't fooling the Lord, though. You're not fooling the Lord, though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stop trying to worry about how you look and appear to other people and start worrying about how you will look and appear to the Lord, because the stuff is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I didn't want y'all to know that. It's embarrassing. Oh yeah, while it's in my mind, I ain't picking on you, Pasha, because it just hit my mind. But that little thing you be wearing on your head, I hope you know that's jewelry and you need to start wearing it. That little thing you be wearing on your head, you know that's jewelry, right? You know you ain't got no business wearing that. It almost slipped my mind, and he just put that in my mind right now to tell you that you need to start wearing that. That is a negative. I don't know what that is, that little thing. Don't wear it no more. Verse 5 of Genesis chapter 9. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. Surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for the image of God made he man. Now, why you think that would be important? Because he said they marred his, he said, I will exact vengeance. I won't meet you as a man, though. Revelation 14 and 14. He said, I ain't gonna meet you as no man. But guess what? He gonna come meet you as a man. Because he said, everybody who shed that blood, I'm going to require. Matter of fact, before we even read Revelation 14 and 14, Ezekiel chapter 35. Because we dealing with that hatred. I'm going to tie two things in by what I showed y'all about Joshua high priest and Joshua son of Nun. Lord will, before we get finished. I'm going to show y'all that. Every strength that the Lord keep within me, I'm going to show y'all that before we get out of here. Ezekiel 35 and 3. Make it one. Just so y'all hear talking about, I guess it's the white man, because they're talking about Esau. I guess it's the white man. Moreover, the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith Yah, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yah. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yah, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut from it him that pass out, and him that return. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yah. Because thou hast said, these two nations, these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it. Where was, Yah was there. Therefore, as I live, saith Yah, I will even do according to thine anger, according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known amongst them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am Yah, that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, They are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against, and multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Now, what y'all think this could be talking about? I know I read a lot of verses right now. I want to make sure you heard it all. What could y'all think I'll be talking about when we read this right here? About a perpetual hatred. About blood pursuing thee. Anybody want to take a shot? Don't be scared now. Step right on up. That's what they tell you at the fair, right? You niggas love to go up there and get them people all your money, ain't it? Well, ain't nobody going to take no shot. Well, let's sit back and let's look at this perpetual hatred and this envy that they had. And let's say 2 Thessalonians or 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's look at about verse 13. And after we read 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13, or verse 14 actually, we'll go around, and I think Luke chapter 11 is coming to my mind. He said a perpetual hatred. He said, because blood, you didn't have a problem with blood gonna come after you. I guess I'll go look in Genesis too. He said, for ye, brethren, become followers of the synagogues of God, which are in Judea and in the Messiah Yahshua. For you also have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Jews, who both killed the Lord Yahshua and their own prophets, and have persecuted us, and please not God, and are contrary to all men. Now, why would these men kill the Lord and their own prophets if it wasn't for a perpetual hatred? Well, what was this perpetual hatred that they had? 2 Chronicles chapter 20 come to mind. Let's look at it. We'll get to Luke chapter 11. 2 Chronicles 20 and 20 come to mind. It might not be verse 20, but these things come to mind. Are y'all okay? Y'all like I'm on. Make sure, man. Let's make it about verse is it 2 Chronicles 20 and 20? That ain't what I want. Let me see if it's 1 Chronicles 20 and 20. Make sure. No, they ain't either. What it was. I think I'm sitting there, I got in my mind about Zechariah. I'm sitting there looking at they ain't got nothing to do with Zechariah right there. That's Jehoshaphat. We don't want that. I want this thing with Zechariah over here. Oh, I'm sorry, chapter 24, what I wanted. It was verse 20, but it was chapter 24. And we'll look at verse 17. 2 Chronicles chapter 24, verse 17. Now after the death of Jehoiada came the princes of Judah, and made obeisances to the king. The king hearkened unto them. And they left the house of Yah Elohim of their fathers, and served groves and idols, and wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem for this trespass, for this their trespass. Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them again unto Yah, and they testified against them, but they would not give ear. So the only reason why they wouldn't listen, because they hated God, and didn't. And the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, which stood above the people, and said unto them, Thus saith God, why transgress ye the commandments of Yah, that you cannot prosper? Because you have forsaken Yah, he also have forsaken you. That's why a lot of y'all can't prosper, because you forsake this word, do what you want to do. Trying to serve two masters. That's why you don't prosper. And they conspired against him and stoned him with stones at the commandment of the king court in the house of Yah. And I know if some of you niggas would, you'll hit me right in my mouth. Now you heard what they said. They conspired against him. That means they had to have some hate in their heart to stone him. That don't sound familiar with y'all. Because what was the Messiah going around telling these people? Why you sinning? Luke chapter 11. Luke 11:46. Make it 45. Then answered one of the lawyers and said unto him, Master, thus saying, thou reproach us also? Wasn't Zechariah reproaching them people? Wasn't he reproaching them people? Y'all hear me? Y'all extra quiet. Y'all all right? And he said, Woe unto you also, ye lawyers, for you laid men with burdens grievous to be borne, and ye yourselves touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. Woe unto you, for you built the sepulchres of the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Truly you bear witness that ye allowed the deeds of your fathers, for they indeed killed them, and you built their sepulchres. Therefore also said the wisdom of God, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them shall they slay and persecute, that the blood of all prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation. From the blood of Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, which perished between the altar and the temple, truly I say unto you, it shall be required of this generation. And it's funny that we read in the law that this man say, I got to require the blood of every beast. Ain't that what he said? And his brother. And his brother. Woo-woo. That man to make sure I get all you niggas sin against me, I kill you all. Ain't that what he telling you? Now you sit back and look at it now. He said you had a perpetual hatred. We know he just mentioned Abel. I said I was going to read Genesis. You should know that in Abel, right? He said, since you didn't hate blood, blood will pursue thee. Let's look at it, Genesis chapter 4. He said, since you didn't hate blood, because obviously we talking about Mount Seir. We talking about who? We talking about Jacob's brother. We talking about Esau then. So that means we have to sit back and look at that Esau had a perpetual hatred for his brother, and I didn't. I guess we'll look in Genesis about that too. I thank the Lord for the word. Genesis chapter 4, verse 3. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and an offering unto Yah. And Abel, he also brought the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. And Yah had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Yah said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fell? If thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted. If thou do not well, sin lie at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Cain talked with Abel his brother. It came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Just like y'all already know, because we done been through it, the brother of the Messiah raised up against him and slew him. And Yah said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cry unto me from the ground. This is what he said. And now thou art cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. They're cursed from the earth. We know what did them people say when they killed their brother? Let his blood be on our children's children. You know what I'm talking about? So by that man's blood, they were cursed from the earth. We already read from Genesis chapter 9 that if you shed blood by man blood, your blood got to be shed. Because he said, I'm going to exact vengeance. I'm not going to meet you as a man. And y'all didn't lie, because he didn't meet his son as a man. But he going to meet you as one. I'm going to show you that. Because you didn't hate blood. We sit back and look at Abel. Abel didn't hate blood, so what happened? Cain's blood pursued him then, didn't it? Ooh, woo. Ooh, woo. I bet some niggas' knees knocking right now. You niggas' knees knocking. If your knees knocking, stop doing the stuff you ain't got no business doing. Genesis chapter 27. It's to save your soul, though. It's staying for a little bit. Lord will, you be all right. It's to save your soul. The 41st verse of Genesis, the 27th chapter. It's to save your soul. It's to make you better. It's to make you better. And Esau hated Jacob because of somebody got to get their dog. Now I well sell that nigga anyway. That man want to be free. Stop holding that nigga captive. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. It said Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing his father gave him. Why is that important for us? Why is that important? They hated him for the same reason. Now hold on. Come back to Ezekiel 35. Let's tie one more thing in Ezekiel 35. He said, blood will pursue thee because you hadn't hated blood. Then he said in verse 10, that because these two nations and these two countries, you said they will be yours and you will possess it because Yah was there. Why is that important for us? Why is that important for us? Anybody? John chapter 11, verse 45. John chapter 11, verse 45. He said these two nations will take control of them. We'll possess them, even though Yah was there. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahshua did believed on him. But some of them went their way to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahshua had done. Then gathered the chief priests and Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man do many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall take away both our place and nation. So they basically said, his brother basically said, these are our possession. We can take them then, can't we? And one of them named Capheus, being a high priest that same year, said unto them, You know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one should die for the people, that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahshua should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that he also should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. Then from that day forth, they took counsel together for to put him to death. That also sounds like what's the word I'm looking for? That also sounds like a little bit of envy too, though. We also can read, can't we read in Mark chapter 15, how Pilate said he knew that the chief priests had delivered the Messiah to them for envy? You see, all these are the works of the flesh manifested. We see it just, because why did Cain kill Abel? Envy, jealousy, a work of the flesh, which brought product into hatred, which brought product into him killing his brother, which is what we read. Why did Esau hate Jacob? Jealousy, envy, which brought forth into, I hate my brother Jacob, I surely will kill him. See, jealousy and envy is a serious thing, because that's what that leads to. Because you know, when you end up being jealous and envious, that leads you to be an idolater, because that means you covet. Because Cain was coveting what was Abel's. The chief priests and Pharisees were coveting what was Yahshua's, because they hated him for the blessing that his father gave him. He wanted it. You know what I'm saying? You around here, you catch yourself coveting somebody else's wife, somebody else's husband, you got to know you dead wrong. Coveting somebody else's life, somebody else's belongings, that's pitiful and that's sad. And the first chance you get, you would kill them to seize on that inheritance to take it. And you wouldn't feel bad about it. Just know you're an idolater. Ain't no kingdom of heaven for you. And that's what Ephesians 5 say. No covetous man, which is an idolater, have any part in the kingdom of the Hamashiach and God. Ain't that what he said? You ain't got no part in that. You think you got a part in that? I would hope you wouldn't be stupid enough to think that. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. How many of y'all feel like you done heard it? Oh man, the call dropped on him. Well, we'll give him a second before I ask this question. Is he over there milk drunk, huh? I think just cry for a moment, get some milk, and go to sleep, huh? That's one sleeping baby, huh? Out of the three, who slept the most? I could go for that. All right, y'all. Call, kick me off. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. How many of y'all think y'all done heard enough word that you have no excuse whatsoever for being stupid? I'm not talking about being ignorant. I'm talking about being stupid. You know what I'm saying? So if you know you done heard enough word for not being stupid, then what excuse do you have for being stupid? How many of y'all feel like you done heard enough word to not be ignorant? I'm not talking about, and when I say ignorant, cause I know you ain't heard, we ain't went over every single, cause we could look at the same thing and get it 8 different ways if the Lord see fit. But how many feel like, you know what, you not ignorant? And when I say ignorant, let me put it this way. Ignorant of God's righteousness. Let me put it that way. So if you know you're not ignorant of God's righteousness, and you know you done heard enough word not to be deemed and classified as being stupid, then why would you continue to do stupid stuff? You know what I'm saying? Y'all really, I really want y'all to understand this. See, the reason why I mention this to you, because I want y'all to start really weighing out stuff before you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I mentioned, because I talked with one of the brothers and sisters about something earlier this afternoon, or yesterday afternoon, and it was like, I didn't really look at it in this aspect before I was considering doing this. You know what I'm saying? That means you're not slowing your brain down to consider, does this line up with the will of Yah or not? Because before you look to do anything, I'm talking about of a real serious nature. I ain't talking about Is it against the will of God if I go to Sonic? Man, I'll slap you in your face. You know what I'm saying? Don't be dumb. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to be like this here. Well, like every minute detail, because that's being over righteous. Now you're being stupid and you're going to destroy yourself, like Solomon said. You know what I'm talking about? What I'm talking about is real stuff. Stuff you know you need to weigh out. You know the stuff you need to weigh out and the stuff you know you don't really need to. Ain't no, should I shop at Publix today? Should I go to Walmart? You know what I'm saying? Should I cook beef tiplets or should I cook grilled chicken? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that you know this could possibly have you outside the will of God if you do it. You got to start slowing your brain down before you do stuff. Those of y'all that's married, you women, you got to slow your mind down. Your husband say something to you don't like. That don't mean you open your mouth. That don't mean you give no attitude. That don't mean you give no lip. If he wrong, then leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Do what you supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You men, you supposed to know. Hey man, don't provoke your wife on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Love her. You know what I'm saying? This, that, that, and the other. Do what you're supposed to do for her. You know what I'm saying? That just don't mean like, hey, sometimes, like I say, I be telling y'all this here. I know sometimes y'all don't realize this. Some of y'all don't realize that once you get married, men are a lot, I won't say harsher, they're a lot different than women. You know what I'm talking about? I know me and my old lady were having a discussion earlier this week, and she was thinking that if I say something, or if I tell her to close her mouth, that there's a reason. I ain't doing it other than I just told you something specific. Because what I told her specific was, you told me this already. You don't need to repeat it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't proffer new information, I have no desire to hear what you've already told me 3-4 times. If you proceed to give me that same information again, I'm going to tell you to close your mouth. If you continue to speak it, eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to tell you to shut up. You know what I'm talking about? You may not like that I say, shut up. But I will tell you to shut up with no problem. Because first I'll tell you to close your mouth or hold your peace or don't say nothing. And if that won't work, I'll take it down. You know what I'm saying? It might sound harsh. I actually ain't committed no sin. It might hurt your feelings. You might not like for me to say that. I can take that into account that may hurt your feelings. But if I tell you I don't want to hear that, that's exactly what I meant. You know what a lot of women problem be is? Y'all want to go ahead and get your point across. You know what I'm saying? Once you feel like you got my point, I got my point across, then I'm good now. That's not how this thing operates. That man tell you close your mouth, just go ahead and keep your point to yourself. Because what you're going to actually end up doing is what she ended up doing is you're not agitating them with your point itself. You're agitating them with the point of, I didn't ask you, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I know you probably done experienced it. I know some of one of y'all rest of you women who married experience. Because I want y'all to understand how a man mind work in them type of situations. It don't really be about the matter. It be about, I gave you an explicit instruction, and you chose to override that because you felt it necessary to get your point across. When it wasn't about your point. You know what I'm talking about? It was about the fact of, I told you I didn't really want to care to hear that any longer. If you don't have anything different to say, close your mouth. You know what I'm saying? When you keep pushing it, now you agitating that man, and this is no longer about whatever y'all was discussing or having a disagreement about. It's the fact of, I told you I didn't want to hear that, and yet you still trying to tell it to me. How many of y'all men have had a woman do that to y'all and y'all found that very agitating when she did it? And it was never about what y'all were disagreeing on. Because I want y'all women to understand that when the man get agitated, the agitation is not coming from what y'all did. That they done got through in the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about that anymore. You know what I'm talking about? It's about, I asked you not to continue to speak on that. Come and tell y'all something. A lot of y'all women know y'all do it. Y'all like to repeat yourself over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? If I heard you the first 3-4 times, you ain't got to tell me again. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, that's why a man tell you close your mouth, because now you're getting on my nerve because you done told me this 8 times. Why you keep telling me this 8 times? That's why men say women nag. Because you might not take it as nagging, but that's how he taking it, because I heard you the first time. I might give you 2 more times to repeat it. But after that, I won't hear no more. Then when you keep doing it, he gonna tell you to shut up. Now he done told you to shut up. Now your feelings hurt because he told you to shut up. So you thinking he don't actually want to hear what you saying or what you expressing. That's not the point. There's no need for you to repeat yourself to me. Because now we really ain't gonna get nowhere because you just because both of us gonna end up be saying the same thing over and over and over again. Because all I'm gonna do is give you the same response that I gave to you the first time you said that to me. You know what I'm saying? So what the man way of killing that is, you know what? Just be quiet. I'm sitting there tell you, I done seen too many of y'all do it. Y'all will keep talking. Y'all got to realize once a man has alerted you to, I don't want to hear that. Just shut your mouth. Just keep it to yourself. Because you're going to end up irking the man. You know what I'm talking about? And I just want y'all to know, it's never about what y'all talking about. It's never going to be about that. I'm telling y'all, man, with men, a lot of times y'all be going to thinking, well, why did he tell me to do this? Or why did he say that? And y'all trying to figure out because y'all getting emotional and deep with it. And to that man, it was really simple. I just asked you not to say that anymore. I really didn't care to hear it. And you continue to speak. I asked these men on here, am I lying what I'm talking about? Y'all go ahead and speak up so these women can hear you. Am I lying about what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I want y'all women to understand and know that it don't really be that deep with no man. It might be deep to y'all. It don't be that deep. I'm telling you, I can have a disagreement with my old lady and it'll end right there. It could be really real simple. You know what I'm saying? She would think, well, what is it? Is it this? Is it that? No, I told you to do that and you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really nothing extra to it. All this other, I'm gonna tell y'all another thing. When y'all do that, that actually agitates and aggravates the man even more. Because you trying to tell him what he thinking and why he said what he said. It don't even be that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell you, the book say a quiet and a meek spirit is of great price under God. Y'all, how many times I told y'all can get further if y'all shut your mouth? I done said that a lot, ain't it? Y'all don't get it though. Y'all don't get it though. You get a lot further just by being quiet. But come on around here. I think it's what? It said Acts. Let me look at another thing about some hate. Matter of fact, let's just leave that alone. So now we sit back and we see they want to take possession of what's God's, right? Because it said y'all was there. Yahshua was there, right? Let's come back to Ezekiel 35. I got off track for a minute. But the Lord had and like I said, I ain't picking on my old lady. I didn't want her. I want all you women to understand that. A lot of time when you get in a disagreement with your husband, it's not as deep and complex to him as it may be to you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say men are real. They're not simple creatures that's being stupid. Simple is not, everything is not complex and complicated and detailed as it be to y'all. Because y'all be trying to figure everything out. You got to feel like, why did he say this? Why did he do that? Why did he do this here? And he sit back looking at you like, nigga, what is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Because you trying to figure everything out. Stuff don't be that deep. It don't even be that deep. I'm tell y'all something. I'm tell y'all women this here, single and married. Man tell you to be quiet. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Stop that need to want to get your point across or get that last word or say what it is you got in your head you want to say. Keep it to yourself. Because I promise to you, and every man on this phone can tell you the same. If a man done told you, I don't care to hear that, you best believe he don't want to hear it. That doesn't mean that he don't care or don't value what you got to say. It just means at that particular time, I don't want to hear that. That's what y'all got to realize. At that particular time, I no longer have the desire to hear any single solitary syllable come out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all don't realize. It don't mean that he don't care or like this here, because he might could come back and talk to you later and revisit it. You know what I'm talking about? But at that time right then, he said, you know what? Hold your peace. Close your mouth. I'm telling you, when y'all keep talking, that's what my old lady found out. It ain't the first time it done happen. When she keep talking, that's when it end up to you need to shut up. Because you don't never lead, a man don't never lead off with shut up. He never leads off with that. You know what I'm talking about? It always gets to shut up. And it seems, I don't even know why shut up hurts people feeling so bad. But it does though. I'm talking about grown, if a man tell another man to shut up, I'm talking about when you tell little kids to shut up, they just sit back and look at you like, I can't believe she just said that. I can't believe my daddy just, I'm talking about everybody. It's amazing when you sit back and look at it. Shut up ain't really that hard of a word. 2 words when you put them together. But boy, it seems like when you tell somebody to shut up, boy, that thing, that'll sting. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I'm sitting there, I'm talking about myself included. I done had some people shut up like, boy, who that nigga think he talking to? Y'all know I ain't lying. I don't know what it is about it. You know, somebody can say, because I'm talking about be quiet, close your mouth, hold your peace. It's pretty much the same thing. Stop talking. I don't want to hear it. It's all the same thing. But it seems when, boy, you say, man, nigga, shut up. Nigga be like, they say, hold up, my nigga. Hold up. You ain't finna talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm offended. I never understood that. You know what I'm saying? It just hit my mind thinking about that just now. I never understood that. Nigga get upset about that level. Don't tell me to shut up, nigga. You can tell me to be quiet, shush. Niggas might get a little upset if you say shush or you do this one here. Shh. Nigga get upset about that. Like, hold on, who this nigga shushing? Yeah, that's another one too. Not just to shut up, the shushing too. Nigga, like, who's the nigga? I'm not a child. This nigga shush me. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? I bet T go crazy. I looked in her face. Shh. And put the finger over my mouth too. Shh. That nigga might go crazy. You know what I'm talking about? You know, this nigga shushed me like I was his child. Like they said, that's what I'm gonna start doing. Like they said, shh. Really get on your nerves. Every time I'm on here, I'm gonna just start shushing a nigga. Nigga might try to black my whole eye up. Nigga gonna have to fight though. He gonna have to know a fight come with that. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all get upset somebody tell y'all to shut up? That bother y'all somebody tell y'all that? I guess not. I guess it don't bother nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nigga tell you to shut up and it ain't gonna bother you. That ain't gonna bother you. Nigga tell you be quiet. You be like this here. I'm gonna be quiet. I don't want to, but I'm gonna be quiet. At least that nigga ain't tell me to shut up though. That nigga told me to shut up, boy, I'd have been talking. Shoot, nigga don't tell me to. You know what I'm saying? They was like, I ain't gonna shut up though. They say, I'm be quiet. I ain't gonna shut up though. Nigga ain't gonna tell me to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Nigga be like this here. Nigga say, could you please stop talking? Nigga be like this here. Shoot, I'm gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Nigga tell him shut up. No, I ain't shutting up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing though. But I'm gonna tell you though, 9 times out of 10 though, somebody get to shut up, that mean they done already asked you nicely, quote unquote, so to speak, to stop talking. You know, shut up, that right here, that gets your attention, don't it? Snap you into reality. Snap you into a Slim Jim, man. So we come back and we look at this here in verse 5, Ezekiel 35. We looking at how they had a perpetual hatred and they shed the blood by force when his iniquity had an end. So what you think that mean they shed his blood by force when his iniquity had an end? What you think that? Well, let's look and see how he said they shed by the sword by force when his iniquity had an end. And Luke chapter 22. Luke 22 and about verse 13. Luke 22 and 13. And Pilate, when he had called together the chief priests and the rulers of the people, said unto them, you have brought this man unto me as one that pervert the people, and behold, I having examined him before you, have found no fault in this man touching those things whereof you accuse him. Nor yet Herod, for I sent you to him, and lo, nothing worthy of death is done unto him. I will therefore chastise him and release him. For of necessity he must release one unto them at the feast. And they cried all out at once, saying, away with this man, and release unto us Barabbas, who for a certain sedation made in the city, and for murder was cast into prison. Pilate therefore, willing to release Yahshua, spake again to them, but they cried, saying, crucify him, crucify him. And he said unto them the third time, why, what evil have he done? I found no cause of death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go. And they were instant with loud voices, requiring that he might be crucified, and the voices of them and of the chief priests prevailed. Pilate gave sentence that it should be as they required. And when he released unto them that for sedation and murder was cast into prison, whom they desired, he delivered Yahshua to their will. So don't you see, because of the perpetual hatred of the brother, they shed the blood of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of his trouble, when his iniquity had an end. Because Pilate was trying to say, he ain't did nothing. They say, kill that nigga, we hate him. Y'all see that? Come on back to Ezekiel 35 then. You see that? That's the works of the flesh. That's why he told them what we looked at a couple weeks ago. He said, I'm from above and you from beneath. See, I'm from heaven. You are the dry land of the earth. See, you earthed it. So therefore, you would have showed that work of the flesh, because if you would have known who I was and who sent me, you would have loved me. You wouldn't have gave me up. You would, when that man tried to let me go, you would have went with it. Because Peter had already told you that. He said, y'all delivered him over. You desired to murder when Pilate was determined to let him go. You know what that means when you determined to do something right. That means you trying to do everything in your power to get this done. Pilate was trying to do everything he could to let this man go. But because of the perpetual hatred that he had, because it's enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent's seed. This perpetual, continual hatred that's been going on from the beginning. Showing you with Cain and Abel. The flesh against the spirit. Sinner against the saint. I'm going to kill that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I hate that nigga. Woo-woo. That's rough right there, ain't it? That's why I say, now the works of the flesh are manifest. Don't you see that every time we looked at somebody that had that type of hatred, it was carnal? Then you sit back saying, and look who they hated. Cain hated Abel, who God accepted. Esau hated Jacob, who God accepted. You know what I'm saying? The serpent hated Adam, who God accepted. You know what I'm talking about? The people hated Yahshua, whom God accepted. So guess who that mean they actually hate? He that despiseth not man, but God, because he given unto us his Ruach HaKodesh. So they actually hated God's word. See, Satan hated the commandment gave to Adam. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want you to get eternal life. I want you to die, nigga. See, Esau didn't want Jacob to get that blessing of rule and dominion. Just like the scribes and Pharisees didn't want Jacob, Yahshua, to get it either. Let's kill it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't sit back and realize every time you commit sin, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Now, when we read verse 13 in Ezekiel 35, because we touched on everything in here except for one thing, and that's him filling the mountains with slain men, because they boast themselves against the mountains of Israel with the blasphemies that they had spoken. Well, we know mountains could be symbolizing government here, and the government is on his shoulder. And we know they blaspheme the Messiah by mocking him continually, right? Because fools make a mock at sin, right? So how did they sit back and let's look at these blasphemies, what they spoke. Because you know what he said about them blasphemies, right? He said, I heard them. Let me see. Is that Peter that I want? No, it's Jude. Epistle of Jude. Thank the Lord. Epistle of Jude. Verse 14. And then we're going to get to these things with Yahshua. I got to make it quick. I spent a lot of time on what we were talking about, but it was needed. Y'all all right? Praise y'all for Yahshua and that word, man. Give you something to consider, right? I didn't mention the last part when in Isaiah 52, but you should know he said that the things that they hadn't heard, things they hadn't seen that they heard, and things they hadn't heard they would consider, because that's when the testimony of Yahshua were brought forth, which when it were brought forth on Pentecost. Because when they things they ain't never known, they heard it that day, and the thing they ain't never heard, they considered it and laid it to heart, and 3,000 men repented to say they sold. Maybe you'll sit back and look at the things you hadn't seen. Maybe you done heard them now. The things you hadn't heard, maybe you'll consider. Maybe you'll consider. Verse 14 of the Epistle of Jude. Enoch and the seventh from Adam prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord come with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Ooh, woo! Again, realize you speak against a man of God, you ain't speaking against him, you're speaking against God. I keep referencing 1 Thessalonians 4 and 8 to y'all for y'all to understand and know that. When they were speaking against the Messiah, mocking him on a tree, they wasn't speaking against him. They were speaking against his Father who sent him. That's why he say, when you both have seen and hated me and my Father. He said, all these hard speeches which they have spoken. Guess what? If he sat back and he said that he going to execute this judgment on them, that means all them blasphemies they spoke, he heard them then, didn't he? Ooh, hold on. These are murmurers and complainers, walking after their own lust, because the works of the flesh are manifest, and their mouths speak great swelling words, having men's purses in admiration because of advantage. So y'all sit back and realize that. Hold on. Matthew chapter 12, thank the Lord. That man say, all them words of blasphemy you spoke, I heard them. I heard them. How many of y'all ever looked at Ezekiel 35 like that there? Any of y'all ever seen that before? Matthew 12 and 36. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. The thing I might with Joshua son of Nun and Joshua high priest, I might got to say some of that. How I really want to go in depth, because I got to show you that thing with that priest of Midian, what a nigga said to me today. And I know I'm not going to be able to go into that fully, because we about 1 hour and 50 minutes me looking at this time clock. And I could spend an hour on that topic alone. So I'm not going to try to push that. Matthew 12 and 36. You know, I'm not going to try to push that. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Romans chapter 3 verse 1, and then Revelation 14 and 14. Y'all don't sit back and realize that all that stuff you saying out your mouth, oh, you going to give account for it. That man said, I heard it. I heard it. I heard it. Got there. You and mouse. And these pistachios. Niggas don't eat pistachios. Niggas can't even spell pistachios. Spell it real quick. Okay, look at the paper. This nigga gonna look at the package. That don't count. Romans 3 and 1. What advantage then have the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, thou might be justified in thy sayings, and might overcome when thou art judged. Only way you're going to be justified if you speaking what their words say. Don't you know if you speaking blasphemies, you can't be speaking what their words say. Therefore, God going to hear that. He said, I'm going to come see you because blood going to pursue you because you didn't despise blood. Now, you got to remember the Messiah shed his blood. So if blood going to pursue you, guess who going to pursue you then? And guess who going to meet you as a man then? Revelation 14 and 14. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long tonight. Like I told you, I started off with some of these works of the flesh. Matter of fact, before we look at Revelation 14 and 14, come on back to Galatians chapter 5. Because Lord will, tomorrow afternoon, this afternoon, and we will be at Pablo Creek Branch Library. I know I told y'all the entire month. I shouldn't have to keep telling y'all that. But I know it's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like, what library we gonna be at? It don't fail. It don't fail. You know what I'm saying? It don't fail. When we looked at some of these works of the flesh, y'all don't even realize to sit back and some of the things that we looked at. We looked at idolatry because the people coveted. We seen hatred. You know what I'm talking about? We seen wrath. We seen strife. I'm talking about just on what we're looking at. We seen sedation because these people rebelled against God by killing the son. But we also seen the envyings and the murderers and the revilings too. You know what I'm saying? These people showed you all these type of things of the works of the flesh. So we could see where Paul get this stuff from, because we could go in that book and see examples of people doing it on top of the examples that we looked at on Wednesday. And we noticed one thing that happened with everybody who worked, that they perished. You know what I'm saying? They perished. So when Paul said you do these things, you will not inherit the kingdom of God, the scripture back that up, don't it? The scripture back that up. So y'all got to sit back and look at, if y'all walking in the flesh, you going to perish too. Because this congregation is in violation. You niggas been playing. I'm talking about, I ain't talking about playing basketball, playing video games, or playing in the weight room. You playing with your soul. You feel like you can skate by, and you can scam, and you can scheme, and you can connive, and you can do whatever it is you want to do. But I'm telling you, try me if you want to, because as soon as the man give me the green light, I will get rid of and one of you niggas. Ain't nobody here, including myself, guaranteed no spot to keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't think y'all realize. Ain't now one of our spots guaranteed, myself included. Don't think it's just, oh, that's y'all and I'm exempt. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not exempt from that either. Ain't now one of our spots guaranteed. That means you got to endure to the end and keep standing. That's why he say a man who hear my word and do it is like a man who built his house on a rock. That means I'm standing. You niggas stand when it's convenient. You niggas stand when you want something from God. You niggas stand when you want your neighbor to believe that you righteous. You know what I'm talking about? Or you virtuous. Some of y'all like to paint. Some of y'all sit back because everybody ain't in this city. And if they didn't know you, they'll sit back and think, boy, he got it all together. She got it all together. You wicked as the day is long. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come up who around you and know you and deal with you. I'm talking about even some of y'all who out of town. Who some of us who in town, they'll sit back and look at you. Oh, that brother, that sister, they're on point. But they ain't around you every day. The people around you every day be like, shoot, nigga, you don't know that nigga well, do you? You know what I'm saying? You don't know that nigga. That nigga, man, who, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm for real, though. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying. You know I ain't lying. Because you'll make yourself look like how you want to look to whoever around you at the time. You know what I'm talking about? If you want somebody to think you righteous, you're going to paint the picture to make yourself seem as righteous as you can make yourself look. Till you around a nigga who you sin with, then you your regular self, then shoot, nigga. You already know what it is, nigga. What I look at? Where them hoes at? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be like this here. Shoot. Finna put my makeup on, girl. I'm finna go see this nigga. You know you ain't married? Shoot. I'm finna go around there and talk to that nigga. Come on around here now, Revelation 14. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all better start looking at this stuff. This your soul. If you comfortable with going to hell, hey, by all means, I'm comfortable with you going. Straight up. If you comfortable with going to hell, I'm comfortable with you going too. You know what I'm talking about? Why wouldn't I be comfortable with what you want, if that's what you want? You know what I'm saying? That's only fair, right? If you comfortable getting God's kingdom, I'm comfortable with you going there too then. But if you comfortable with going to hell, I'm comfortable with you going. I'm talking about I'm going to make sure I preach as much word that can get you there faster than a speeding bullet. You know what I'm talking about? Get you there. And I'll make sure when you get there, you say, Lord, let me get to the front of the line now. Because I've been waiting to get here. I've been waiting to get here. I'm talking about, man, I've been wanting to backstroke in that fire pool for so long. Shoot, I'm showing nigga my breaststroke. Nigga don't even want to see me, nigga. I get in here, what? Swimming. Straight up. I'm talking about, nigga, he say I'm the Michael Phelps of the burning pit. Straight up. Nigga say, nigga, ain't nobody gonna, I don't care if it's hot. Stuff ain't gonna stop me. He said, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud. Upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which was in heaven, and he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, by a space of 1,600 furlongs. So since you didn't despise blood, then blood was going to pursue you. Hold on. Isaiah 63. I'm not going to get to that thing with Joshua. I'll probably have to say that for another day, because that's a whole nother thing unto itself. I don't even want to touch that and gloss over it and not do it the justice that it properly deserves. Y'all hear me? I can't do that. I wanted to talk about that tonight, but the Lord didn't take us in that direction now, did it? And I'm not going to try to swing it around now just because I want to talk to y'all about it. I save it for another day. Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that come from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? Listen what he say. That is glorious. That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness. Hold on. Mighty to save. You know, it's a dude I know, he always say, that's been fulfilled. But he say he glorious in his apparel, right? And he say he coming in the greatness of his strength. Matthew 26:62. Matthew 26:62. We'll look at a couple places with that. After we look at Matthew chapter 26, verse 62, we'll look at Matthew chapter 24 and Hebrews chapter 9. Matthew 26:62. And the high priest arose and said unto him, answer thou nothing? What is it which it was these witnesses against thee? But Yahshua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Messiah, the Son of God. Yahshua said unto him, thou hast said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, coming in the clouds of heaven. That sounds like he coming in the greatness of his strength right there, don't it? Traveling in it, right? We already read in the Epistle of Jude that he said that this man Enoch prophesied. Didn't say Enoch wrote a book. Said he prophesied that the Lord would come with 10,000 of his saints, meaning he'll be traveling in a great strength, then wasn't it? Well, look at Matthew 24. Let's see if the Lord told him that again. Because you got niggas say Matthew 24 will fulfill too now. Matthew 24:29. Because of that great hatred, since they didn't hate blood. He said blood gonna pursue them. I'm going to leave their bodies on the mountain and let them stink. Huh? Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be dark, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Then shall the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That sounds like what Isaiah said, didn't it? Because they say, who is this? They say, well, he said he was going to stand on the Mount of Olives. You say what you want to say. That man didn't let you know. I got to come back. He said, who is this that come from Edom? It only makes sense since Edom had a perpetual hatred and shed his blood, right? Since his brother shed his blood, I ought to come back and shed yours too then, shouldn't I? You know what I'm talking about? Say greatness of his strength. He said glorious in his apparel. I that speak righteousness, mighty to save. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27. He said he mighty to save. He said he speak righteousness. Y'all already know how he speak righteousness. John chapter 6, verse 63. Make it verse 24. Make it 22. Matter of fact, make it 20. Make it 20. Hebrew 9 and 20. I'm going to run it down to 28. I'm feeling good right now. This man say, you know he speak right, because John chapter 6, he told you what? John chapter 6, verse 63. The flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. He says the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. See, the words that the Lord has spoke to Adam in the beginning, they were spirit and they are life. He told him don't eat of this tree. He ended up finding out the flesh didn't profit him, now didn't it? Because he was held back from the tree of life, which would have gave him life, right? Y'all hear me? Y'all see how this man taking all this stuff where we started at and tying it all back in together so you can know the things that were freely given to us of God. Woo-hoo. Let's look at another thing freely given to us of God in Hebrews chapter 9 verse 20. Saying, this is the blood of the testament which God have adjoined unto you. Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and the vessels of the ministry. Y'all don't even sit back and realize, we sit back and see that how in Exodus chapter 24, he sprinkled the blood, the tabernacle with the blood and the vessels of the ministry. The vessels of the ministry are who? The vessels of the ministry that got sprinkled with the blood are the apostles. When he told them, drink, this is my blood. He sprinkled the vessels of the ministry with the blood. So then we know the blood being on the tabernacle is the blood being on the house. John chapter 2, he said he spake of the temple of his body. We already dealt with how he was wounded in the streets. Truth fell in the streets. He wallowed in his own blood. Oh, man. Y'all didn't even sit back and realize that he had to do the same thing in Exodus 24 to bring forth that covenant too, didn't he? Didn't he tell his disciples, drink, this is the blood of the New Testament, which is shed for you? Is that not putting blood on the vessels of the ministry? Ah, wonderful, 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 magnificent, loving, mighty, glorious Savior indeed. Because he said he mighty to save, man. Thank the Lord. He's saying, and almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. It was therefore necessary that the patterns of the things in heaven should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves were better sacrifices than these. For the Messiah is not entered into Kodesh places made with hands, which are the figures of the truth, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. Nor yet that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enter into the Kodesh place every year with blood of others. For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. But now once in the end of the world have he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself, and is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. So Hamashiach was once offered to bear the sins of many, because a fool make a mock at sin. And unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. That sounds like to me he mighty to save then, don't it? Twofold way too mighty to save, didn't it? Saving us from our sins and then deliver us to dwell with him forever, right? Ain't that something? Come on back to Isaiah 63. I'm finna get ready to let y'all go. We get done early like this. I told you I ain't finna work that in. Maybe I'll work it in with the fruits of the Spirit. But that fruits of the Spirit, that's going to be a long one. Better put your seatbelts on. Because Lord will. I may not touch everything in it, but I'm going to try to touch as many of them as possible. You know what I'm talking about? Because I've been telling y'all from a long time. God knows I've been telling you a long time that we could actually go in the law and the prophets and show you everything that Paul said was an identifying marker, evidence of the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Evidence of it. So we're going to be able to show you meekness, joy, faith, strength, self-control, all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's examples of that. And if it's examples of that in the law and the prophets, then guess what that means? You wouldn't neglect the gift that you got by prophecy, which means you would have had to ate the roll to know the book, to believe the book, to manifest that fruit. Then I wouldn't. But before we can deal with the fruit, we got to deal with the works of the flesh, because that's what Paul mentioned first before he mentioned the fruits of the Spirit, didn't it? That means we got to sit back and look at what's the works of the flesh, which is not allowing you to walk in the Spirit because you still being governed by the flesh, because you don't want the things freely given to you as God, as our father Adam felt in the garden. I've been freely given all these other trees, but I don't want that. I want this one. I want that one. Something to think about. Isaiah 63 verse 2. Y'all know how the Lord was glorious in his apparel. He had that glorified body. Strength. Let's look how he was glorious in his apparel. Hold what you got. Daniel chapter 10. We got to see, I seen the brother in Las Vegas been talking about it, dealing with it. I guess we'll hit on it too before we even deal with this here. Sit back and look at it, go and put it on tape. Yeah, the Lord was black. Nigga don't like it. Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. Go smoke some crackers, son. It ain't gonna change the fact he black. Let's look and see how he was glorious in his apparel in Daniel chapter 10. You know, we don't talk about him being black too often, because I think we already know that. Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. But we got to see he was glorious in his apparel. Then I lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins was girded with fine gold and Uphaz. If he were clothed in linen, then he was clothed in that fine linen, clean and white, which is what? The righteousness of the saints. Glorious in his apparel. Makes sense. His body was like the beryl, meaning the garment was green. And his face has the appearance of lightning. Just like in Matthew 17, when he went up on the mountain, and it transfigured and his face was shining like Moses' own. That means he had, if his face was shining, because wisdom calls a man's face to shine. We know Yahshua was heard and that he feared, and if he feared, the fear of Yah, the beginning of wisdom. Because guess what? He say, fools search for wisdom, can't find it. Because it's too high for him. It's in the heavens. You ain't in the heavens. You in the earth where you going to be written. He says his lamps as a fire. He say, and his eyes are as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to what? Polished brass. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. See, we're not going to read all them verses where people look, I am black. We'll read all that there. Y'all know what color polished brass is. Brown skin, right? And what skin tone did it say David wore? It said he was ruddy. And I'm the root and offspring of David. But let's look in Ezekiel 40, chapter 40. Let's see what the angel looked like. Because it said all things were made by the Son. All things were made by him and for him. So that means he would have had to made the angels too, right? Because the angels are for him, right? Ezekiel chapter 40, verse 1. In the 5 and 20th year of our captivity, in the beginning of the year, in the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after that city was smitten, in the selfsame day, the hand of Yah was upon me, and brought me thither. In the visions of God brought he me into the land of Israel, and sat me upon a very high mountain, by which was the frame of a city on the south. And he brought me thither, and behold, there was a man, whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with a line of flax in his hand and a measuring reed, and he stood in the gate. So we got an angel here whose skin color is brass. How many of y'all knew that was in here? I know somebody had to know. So now we got an angel, his skin tone brass too. So it ain't just a Messiah then. So now we got two witnesses of two people, skin tone brass. Ooh, Revelation 1 and 13 then. Oh, yeah. Thank the Lord. I worked that in. Before we read Revelation 1 and 13, come on around here, the book of Proverbs. Let me find what I had. I would look at Proverbs 16 and 31. Because he said he came glorious in his apparel, right? He came in his glorious apparel with no. Okay. Proverbs 16:31. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. And what did Yahshua say he was in John 4? He said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Hold on, but didn't Isaiah 35 and 8 tell you there shall be a highway there, which is the way of Kodesh, and the unclean and fools, stupid people will not walk therein. You know why stupid people and fool and the unclean won't walk therein? Because 1 Corinthians chapter 6, just looked at it. He said, don't you know if you be a harlot, you be joined to the Messiah? Shall we make the members of the Messiah a harlot? God forbid. You ain't joined to this man no sinner now. Scriptures damn you on this. So that means a hoary head is found glory. We didn't look at the other week. It say stand up before the hoary head, right? Revelation 1 and 13 then. We done already read in Hebrews chapter 9 that the Messiah was found righteous before God because he didn't commit no sin. Say he offered himself. So let's see. Now you can sit back and you can see why the man's hair would be white like wool in this situation. Because that's the crown of his glory. He was found in righteousness. He was found right before God. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were as the flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. And his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shine in his strength. Any of y'all ever wonder why when the Messiah was living, it didn't say he had gray hair, but then when we come back after he rose from the dead, it said he got gray hair? Thank the Lord. And guess why else? Because he the Ancient of Days. He began it. If I'm before everything, you don't talk about from the foundation of the world, it would make sense I come back and take that look upon me. I've been around for a little minute. Remember, he say he from everlasting. Remember Micah, he told you, they'll smite the ruler of Israel, they'll smite him on the cheek with a rod. Which would do what? Mar his visage more than any other man, because I marred him in my own hand, but I fashioned him and made him as I wanted to be, because now he glorious in apparel and he coming in his strength. Come on, Isaiah 63. These niggas need to sit down and shut their mouth. These niggas be shamed. I'm talking about, man, I wanted to talk to y'all about that stuff that nigga had said about the priest of Midian, but I'ma save it. Nigga be saying stuff, don't be knowing what they be talking about. Nigga just need to have all their teeth slapped right out their mouth. We need to get reeds hit them niggas in the mouth like they did the Lord. That's what we need to do. Nigga just dumb for no reason. Verse 2 of Isaiah 63, a nigga swear these niggas smart. That nigga ain't smart. And I ain't saying that because a nigga don't like a nigga. Nigga just dumb. Nigga said the high priest of Midian was the high priest of Yah. I'm going to show y'all how no high priest of Midian can't be no priest of Yah. I'm going to ask y'all that question right now just to see who know. Why a priest from Midian couldn't be a priest of Yah? Who knows why that couldn't be possible? Well, why would that be the reason? Why couldn't a man from Midian be a priest of Yah? Do y'all know who Midian is? But do you? Abraham got rid of him. That's one of Abraham's children. But that's one of Abraham's children from Keturah. But I'm going to show y'all that more in depth, though. See, y'all supposed to know that. I done showed y'all that before. Not all y'all ain't heard it before, but I done showed y'all that before. You know what I'm saying? Midian is one of Abraham's children. But that's one of the children that Abraham had with Keturah. That means Buddy don't qualify. Nigga gonna tell me he begged to differ. Because he gave Abraham, because the priest of Midian gave Moses some advice. I get to it sooner rather than later. All right, y'all. It kicked me out. I'm going to get to this, Lord willing, sooner rather than later. Lord will, it'll probably be on New Moon on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead and rock that. Because then I can take that to show you that by no other name have men be saved under heaven, but by Yahshua. That's what I'm going to do. Lord will, I'm going to talk to y'all about that on Wednesday. I'm not going to try to do it tomorrow. I just gave you a little bit. I ain't going to try to do it tomorrow. This is what he say, verse 2. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that tread in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. We already seen what he say he'll appear again without sin under salvation. But it's only right because when they killed the man, his garments were stained with his own blood. It's only right he come back and stain his clothes with your blood. Because since you didn't despise blood, blood is going to pursue you. Son of God going to come get you. And wherever I find you at, I'm going to kill you. Revelation 19, Matthew 13, 47 after that. Nigga talk about that's already been fulfilled. If that's been fulfilled, let you know. Ain't nothing happening over here. Matthew 19 and 11. Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. He was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, glorious in their apparel, coming in his strength. And out of his mouth go a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he tread the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. It's only right, because he said that he would pursue after every beast that shed man blood in Genesis chapter 9, right? It's only right he pursue after you to shed yours, because you shed his. Matthew 13, 47. That's why I sit back and look at, that's why I'm saying now, if you bold enough to stand up and say you hate God, just know what come along with it. And Iggy is not too pleased. Matthew 13, 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good in the vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Yahshua said unto them, have you understood all these things? Y'all understood all these things? Pray the Lord. And they said unto him, they say unto him, yea, Lord. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which brings forth out of his treasure things new and old. Praise ye y'all for Yahshua HaMashiach and the word.